Oh You Thought Podcast, the place where you get a heavy dose of positivity, sarcasm, knowledge, and ratchetness. Enjoy the show. It's that time again. I know I missed last week, but it was a holiday week, and so I ended up getting caught up, visiting with family and everything. So I didn't drop an episode last week like I stated that I would. And then the episode I had for this past Friday, I decided to record it clearly after Friday because I wanted to talk about more items that happened on Friday. And so here we are today. I'm recording episode 36, if I already didn't say that. Episode 36 of Oh You Thought Podcast. I'm your host, Fallon, and I'm coming to you from Houston, Texas. Hold it down. Southside for life. So yeah, it feels like I've been away longer than just missing last week, and I really want to try to be more consistent, but I'm human. Life happens. You get sick and things happen. And there again, I've shared my story multiple times on this podcast that I am a diabetic. And so with being a diabetic, you have ups and downs of being healthy and not feeling so healthy. And so, sometimes I just don't feel my best, but I just keep on pushing, keep on praying, and keep on going. So I'm very thankful that I'm starting to feel better. And so, yeah, as far as what I've been up to, holiday last week, I didn't do any shopping or anything like that because I'm on an unemployed budget. But yeah, I did a lot of looking online and stuff, just, wishing and hoping, just planning for when I do get another job of things that I want to buy. Because, I do have a shopping problem. And so, yeah, I've been itching to shop. And so, yeah, especially for some new clothes or whatever. But I'm still holding the line and I'm not spending any money on stuff like that. And so, been chilling, been on my Hulu pretty hard. It's just like I'm in this little fix of where I'm binge watching shows that I've already watched like a million times. And so I'm currently on Braxton Family Values. And so it's so hard to watch it because I'm a Tamar fan 100%. And I feel like 90% of the time she's definitely being attacked and she's not being heard correctly, because it's like when she starts to talk through her feelings, she's talked over and she can't get out her thoughts. That's what I observed from watching this show. And so it's hard to watch because it's like they're always fighting. So that's what I've been spending my time doing. And then, of course, like still applying to jobs, going on interviews. And so I have a second interview on Monday with the company. And so I'm praying that everything goes well and hoping that, I'll be back in the working field soon. And so send some prayers up for your girl. I want to give a shout out to my top 5 listening cities. And this is via SoundCloud. Shout out to New York City, number 1, Kansas City, Chicago, London, and Philly. So thank you so much for taking the time out to listen to me last week and getting all those listens in. If you're not following me or subscribe to me on SoundCloud, go ahead and do that. Oh You Thought Podcast. Find me like that. And I think we're ready to start the show, you guys. Oh, you thought that Geeky Fallon would not be hyped up for the Infinity War movie trailer. Oh my gosh, when I saw it on whichever day last week in the morning, I was so excited because me and my geeky friends, this is what we've been waiting for. This is the stuff we've been talking about and discussing and just wondering, how is the movie going to be? Is everybody going to die? What's going to happen? And just seeing the trailer, there's nothing like a good Marvel movie. And I was definitely a person that came to the team late, not that late, but late enough. And I kind of feel some type of way that I feel like everybody on my timeline is into Marvel movies now. What happened? Like, it's just like, it sounds really weird, but I want me and my geeky friends to be able to have this by ourselves. And so everybody's all excited on my timeline for the most part about Infinity War. And I'm just like, I am ready. I am ready for May of next year so I can get my life all the way together and see what's going to happen. So yeah, last week, well, still in the same week, a couple days ago when that trailer hit was definitely a good day. This one is a really, really good topic that I want to talk about, and it was basically prompted by a Facebook post that's been going around on social media, not just on Facebook, and it brings up the question if the size of the ring matters. And I'm a different kind of female. I'm old school to the core, and money does not drive my decisions as far as the man I deal with and what I want from a man financially. Like, I'm more about honesty, loyalty, and time, because those are things that are priceless and you can't get back. So I'll say that before I read the post. Okay, so this is from a young lady. I'm not going to say the person's name, even though it's not even her real name. It says, stop disrespecting these women and asking them to marry you with these 1-carat rings. If you cannot afford a ring, 3 carats or better, approximately $3,500, you cannot afford a wife. And before I go any further, like, you cannot afford a wife. Now, are you getting married? No, let me finish the post before I go in. It's bigger than being materialistic. It's about being able to see with your third eye. It's about being able to read in between the lines. Marriage is a business, whether y'all like it or not. Disney messed y'all heads up with the happily ever after phrase. Miss me with that. You cannot start a business without some type of financial backing. What can we do for each other? If you don't have enough money to spend on an inanimate object such as a ring, you are not ready to be investing in a business, i.e. marriage. Get back to the drawing board. My thing is this, boys and girls. When I get married, I'm getting married for love. And being a person that has gone through so much stuff as far as like being laid off twice in my life, being sick and not being able to pay for certain things. Like, I understand it's hard out here. So who am I to judge a man if he's gone through some shit too? And there again, I'm looking for a man to just love me. Like, I want to be loved. Like, yes, let's not be crazy. We both need to be able to reach goals as far as like what we want to do when we get married, as far as buy a house, be able to support having children, and be able to pay the bills together, like all that stuff. But she talked about the fairy tale part about the happily ever after. I think a lot of people get fed that thing like, yes, it's the man's job to be a provider. I get that, and I'm with that. But what if he was just dealt a different stack of cards, but y'all can get everything done together with both of your incomes? Is that a bad thing? In Fallon's book, no. I'm not going to knock my man, let's say, if he made less than me. But what if he treats me like a queen? What if he hits everything on my list? And there again, money is not on my list. Like, yeah, money can make you better. But people always say, more money, more problems. And I think at the end of the day, I would rather have true love, as far as love, honesty, truth, loyalty, and time, and not worrying about if my man is cheating. But as long as he's paying these bills, I'm good. I would rather have that than a man that makes $1 million and it's not enough. Like, you can call me crazy or whatever, but I value things differently. And so I even told this to Mr. maybe like a couple months ago when I was telling him my ring size, and I was just basically like, I don't even care if you get me a fake ring. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, he knows me. Like, I've never been the type to just be like, buy me this, buy me that. I always felt awkward when he did like do for me and give me money and stuff like that. I always felt awkward because I'm the type of female, I always had to work for mine. Like, I've been working since I was 15 or so. And so working is not new to me. Struggle is not new to me. Like, I don't have a problem working for mine. So yeah, I was like, I don't even care about a real ring, because if you know me and you see me in my day-to-day life, I walk around every day with these fake rings that I get from JCPenney. And it's just like, why spend hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars on these little rings that you might lose when I can spend X amount of dollars, $15 or less, and get a ring that I like to just put on my finger when I wear different outfits. And I get compliments on these cheap rings, cheap earrings. Like, I'm frugal like that. I like to look good and stuff, but I'm not going to just break the bank. It makes no sense to me. So if a man came to me with a 1-carat ring, I would not care. I would not care. And I'm also at a point in my life where, yeah, of course, as a female, you dream about this dream wedding and all this stuff. But I don't want to break the bank with a wedding. Like, I would rather prepare for our future together, whether that's buying a household together, preparing for children, whatever the case may be. If that's paying off each other's debt, like, I want to be debt free at a certain point, and I have all these student loans. So I remember a conversation I had with my best friend, and he was like, if you won money, what would be like one of the first things you would do? And I always say this to people, I would pay off my student loans, because it impacts my credit score so much because of my debt ratio. It's just so unbalanced because of all those student loans. And so, yeah, so I wouldn't care about a little 1-carat ring. Like, I care about if he loves me. I care about, like, if I know I'm going to be happy with him for the rest of my life. And like I didn't finish telling making my point about a wedding. Like, at this point in my life, I would be totally content with either going to the Justice of the Peace or having a small church wedding and then having this bomb ass reception. I would want to spend more money on the reception than the wedding. Like, and any man that deals with me is going to have to be able to deal with that. And so when I saw this, I was just like, this is why females that listen, you're probably going to hate me. And this is why females get the wrong perception of just being after money. I was on Instagram earlier today, and it was the question on the Shade Room, what is your deal breaker when dating, basically was loosely the question. And I was reading through the comments, and my answer was bad hygiene, but a lot of ladies was saying broke. And that's all I saw. And it's just like, girl, like, have you never been in a jam? Have you never been laid off? Have you always been rich? I feel like I'm the type of person, I can't require something of my mate that I'm lacking. Like, let me see. I'm trying to make my point in the right way. Like, it's just like, how can I go and look for a man that has $1 million? I don't have $1 million, and I have student loans to pay off. Like, how can I ask for him to have perfect credit, but I don't have perfect credit? Like, it's stuff like that. Like, it's just like, it's not fair. And it's just like, take the time to get to know these men that you're dating and getting married to, and stop looking at just material things, because it doesn't matter. Like, I hate to get all biblical, but this thing about Adam and Eve, like, in the beginning, like, all they had was what God put here on earth. Like, walking around the garden, they had each other. Like, and that was it. Like, we're spoiled as a people. And it's just like, let's get back to the root of it, and let's just, be happy with each other. And like, of course, like you don't want just someone just bummy, like a lazy dude that has nothing but not trying to do better. Like I've been with men that made less money than me, but guess what? He was a hustler. And by hustler, I mean he was always looking for a job. He would work any kind of job to have money. And most of the men that I've dealt with in serious relationships had children, so they really had to go for theirs. And that's why it never was an issue. And I'm also the type of female, even with being that old school type of feel, like I'm in a relationship, or if I'm dating someone, we've been on multiple dates, I don't have a problem paying for myself. I don't have a problem paying for the date completely, both of us. Like, I've adapted to that because, you know, if you're old school female, you want the man to pay for everything. And I'm just like, it's hard out here. Like, we got a lot of stuff to pay for, a lot of overhead. Why can't I treat my man one day when we go out and I just take the tab, boo? Like, you know, just be a little flexible and stuff. And that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, when I saw that post, I was absolutely triggered. And I just didn't understand. I did not understand how people can just feel that way. And yes, I know there's a rule about when you ask a girl to marry, when you ask a woman to marry you, that the ring is supposed to be like 3 times your salary or something like that, which I think is crazy. Like, all this money. So basically, if you don't have the money put away, you're out here financing that ring. And it's just like, no. And whoever I marry, if I get the chance to be blessed to have a husband, like, I'm not spending all my money on a ring. Even if I was a millionaire, I'm sorry, Fallon is cheap like that. Like, we're gonna spend money on stuff that makes sense. Like, we're not gonna spend all our money on stuff that we can lose. I don't care how responsible you are. Don't at me. I don't care. The biggest Oh You Thought moment came on Friday morning when it's just still so fucking good to me that I just, it's almost hard to believe, but I can't believe, that this is happening. Like, it's really happening. Like, Michael Flynn has pled guilty to lying to the FBI, boys and girls.
Yes. Jesus praise the Lord. Yes, God. Hallelujah, God. Yes. We don't want no devils in the house, God. Yes, we want the Lord. Yes. That's it.
Had to break out my favorite soundbite because it's a glorious day. Like, I felt so freaking happy yesterday. Like, I saw the news pop up on my phone before I went into my interview on Friday. And I was just like, yes, Lord. I sent a text to my best friend and he was like, he made a deal. And I was like, yup, he had to have made a deal. Like, if you just basic level smart, you know how this go. Like, they try to get to the big fish. And basically, like, this tea is just so piping hot and good. And it's just like, it's so much. Like, I think it was like over 1 million different tweets were available for you to go through on Twitter yesterday on Michael Flynn alone. And it's just like, I just really can't believe people carry on like this. Like, this is just, it's evil to me. You're liars. Like, not just Michael Flynn, it's all these guys that are caught up in this big pot of shenanigans. And this is better than an episode of Scandal. Like, Shonda Rhimes couldn't write an episode this good. No shade, love you, but this is some good tea. And so, like I said, we know he obviously had to make a deal because number one, he's looking out for his son, and so that's a G move to go ahead and take that bullet for your son. And he has a possibility of facing 1 to 5 years in prison. But I was reading and then also listening to some news people saying that we don't know exactly, the deal that he made with Mueller, and it possibly he could be serving no time. And so from that, like, so like, because this is a federal offense, and he has multiple offenses. So this is just one that he's pleading guilty to, because he's involved in other shit. And basically, he's also prepared to testify against Trump. Basically saying that when Trump was a presidential candidate, that he directed him to make contact with the Russians. And he's also prepared to testify against even some of Trump's family members and other people. So this was major news, and Trump supporters are still in their bag. Like, everything is fine. Trump is still in his bag. Like, everything is fine. He tweeted out today, I believe, that he had to fire Flynn because he lied to Vice President Pence. And so news around that tweet is saying that he knew about this, so it's a violation of obstruction of justice. And so that's been a storyline that's going around Trump, and it's just like, Trump, like, it would have been best if you just would have stayed quiet. Like, there's no reason for you to say anything. Like, just deny. And I guess that what that tweet is him denying that he is in this. Like, I just don't understand, like, as a person, if you know you've had these conversations with people, if you know your family members have had conversation with this person, and you just going around like you just basically God, like, you can't be touched. And it's just like, Trump, you getting ready to be touched, and I can't wait to see it. And so even before Trump got into office in January of this year, they were already cutting up with the Russians. Like, he asked the Russians for help in some UN situation voting in Israel that was going on, and he asked for their help. And so it's just like, the Russians, they have their hands in everything. And it's just like, when will people wake up? And so, yeah, this was the big reason why I delayed recording my episode yesterday, because I wanted to be able to fully talk about this Michael Flynn, because I was just so happy when this news broke yesterday. And I was just like, this is so good that I can't record my episode before I am able to talk about this. And so here we are. And so I'm just waiting to see how everything fully develops. But I just think, like, you know, people are saying that this is worse than Watergate, and, you know, hey. And I even said, watch, like, after all this is done, Michael Flynn will probably get his own movie on all this mess. And it's just a mess. And so, yeah, good times. A positive mind equals a positive life. When you let go of all the negativity, that is the ultimate glow up. It's time for the positivity moment of the show. So, positivity moment. We all need some positivity, right? And I know I do, with all my shenanigans I've been going through this year. And so that's why I always want to make sure I do a pop of positivity on the show somehow, some way. And so this one comes from Instagram, from Angela Simmons. And she posted, I killed someone today. I killed the girl who cared too much. I killed the girl who trusted too easy. I killed the girl who made excuses for being disrespected. Hello. I killed the girl who believed the bullshit. Hello. I killed the girl who used to be mean. And that post, like, it just really just spoke to my spirit, because I am that person. Like, I'm too nice to everybody. I hardly tell people no. I can be sick and you can ask me to do something and I do it. And, like, we gotta just stop doing this. Like, we have to kill off all those bad qualities about ourselves, because that's what basically it is. Like, it's some bad qualities about yourself if you allow people just to treat you any kind of way. And so we have to do better for ourselves. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to have the love that we want and desire. And I don't care if people tell you that you're crazy for you having standards for what you want for yourself and a mate. That is your God-given right, and no one can take that away from you. And so, me included, like, demand respect. And when people are lying to you, call them out on their shit and be strong in that, and just know. Also, like, even when dealing with relationships, I always say this: you need to be able to be by yourself and heal your heart, and don't go from relationship to relationship. Like, let that person basically just die off that you was in that past relationship before you press on and give that energy to someone else. So that's all I'm saying. Was popping in these streets. So to start off this segment, I want to, there again, more positivity. I want to give an update on a story that I talked about a few weeks ago, and it's about the young 2-year-old AJ Burgess that was denied getting a kidney transplant from his father because his father violated his probation. Good news, he was able to get his kidney transplant from someone else. And then also Tyler Perry bought his mom a new car. And so that was really a blessing for this young little baby. And I just wish nothing but blessings and positive vibes over his life. And it's good to hear that this situation turned out good and he was able to get his transplant. So another topic that I have to talk about that the world has been talking about, I saw the story a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, about the slave trade that's going on in Libya. And I just couldn't believe that this was true. And so I didn't see a lot of people talking about it when I first saw it on my social media timeline. And I did a little research then, and I just couldn't find out the information I wanted to find out as far as like how and why, as far as like when it first started up until now. And then it picked up steam, I felt like, the week of Thanksgiving on to now, where the celebrities got mad about the situation, all this stuff. And so basically the situation is this: you have a lot of people over there that are trying to get to higher ground, better opportunities in Europe. And so the way they go through Europe, a lot of these people, they go through Libya. And so when they get there, they're being captured and then auctioned off in modern day slavery. And they're being sold for $400 and under to work on farms and all kinds of things in Europe. And the pictures that you see, it's just really heartbreaking because it just looks like something out of a movie. And basically, like, people are angry about people being sold and everything, but this is human trafficking, and this is something that has never gone away in the world. And the situation in Libya, like, this should be a situation where all countries should have a heart and join together to put an absolute stop to this. I said to my friend the other day, I was just like, if they see that these people are trying to get away from wars and all kinds of shenanigans in their countries, why don't they just offer them some kind of citizenship all over the world, like wherever they want to go? Not wherever, just, you know, like if they want to come to the US, they want to go to France, like, you know what I mean? Not just like, oh, tell us where you want to go type of thing for free, but some kind of program to where you fill out an application, we get you on your way, to a better life or something. Like, I just feel like, why can't the world do that? Like, why aren't we looking out for people? So that's number one. And then number two, overall, like, we just have to get a handle on human trafficking, period. But the situation in Libya, it breaks my heart to see the images. And then there again, having a wonderful conversation with my best friend, he brought up the point, well, who's taking the pictures? And then I felt like Thursday, Friday, I started seeing that question on social media. Who's taking the pictures? And that's a very good question. Who's taking these pictures? And what kind of heart do you have? Are these actually the slave catchers that are taking the pictures and loading them up to social media? Is it news people? But you've been chronicling this, but no one's helping. Like, there's no way in the world that I could take the pictures that I've been seeing online and go to sleep every night. There's just no way in the world. I wouldn't be able to do it. And it's sickening. Like, it really, really breaks my heart. Like, all the madness that's going on in this world, like, it breaks my heart. And I don't know what it's going to take for us to get along as a world and do right by each other. Like, it's not hard to do right by each other. And then, of course, like, with any situation, people want to point fingers and all this stuff to Obama, to Hillary. They said, oh, this is a result of taking down Gaddafi and all this stuff. And what is the solution? What is the absolute solution? And that's what we just need to get to. And I just pray for these people. I also saw on Instagram, it was a young lady reporting directly from Libya, and it was a couple airplanes full of the migrants being brought back, probably close to 500 at this point. So it's that many people moving on, trying to get to better situations, and they were brought back and they were put up into hotels and they were fed and everything. And so hopefully their situations will turn out better. But I just hope all the people involved in this and selling these people and everything, I hope they're brought to justice and let them rot under the jail. Like, for real, like, you have no heart. Like, and it's just, why black people? Like, why? I don't understand. Another topic that's been going on in, like, the political world is net neutrality. And a lot of people probably never heard of this, but there again, educate yourself. And basically, it protects a free, open internet, basically. And so basically, it makes it so companies can't charge you, number one, for your internet service, and then number two, charge you like for gaming, for visiting this website, for using this service online, for using that service online. It also protects you from being able to have all the websites that we have, all the information that we have on the internet. Like, it won't censor your internet experience, basically. And so please, if you haven't called your local Congress people, if you haven't signed the petition, you can sign it at change.org. If you don't know what I'm talking about, research it. Like, everyone's talking about it. And it's important. It's important to your rights and your freedoms. And, you know, people take small things like surfing the internet for granted. But if this goes through and it changes, then it will be a big deal. And then you'll be complaining about, oh, I'm paying all this money to use the internet. And, oh, I can't go to this website. And, oh, I can't host my own website. And, oh, and it's just like, take the time now to do your research and help be a part of the change. Like, this is like one of the good things about social media. It's like things like this, like where you can just actually see people mobilize them via the social media world about issues like this. And I think it's just so important that we're not censored. So think about your rights and things like that. And yeah, so that's like all the serious stuff that I wanted to talk about on the podcast. So now we're going to move down the ratchet line of things. And the first thing I want to talk about, which I really shouldn't give any more life to this man, but Tyrese recently came forward and said that he lied about his wife being pregnant, and he wrote a whole post about it. And let's just go. I'm going to read some of this. I'm going to read all of it. Let's get this all off the table. A few weeks back, and it's hard to... I don't know. I'm the type of person, like, I look for punctuation and how the sentence is supposed to read and stuff, and his stuff is always all over the place. Let's get this all off the table. A few weeks back, while stressed, and of course, as I embarrassingly spoke on this, I was advised to use some psych meds called Rexulti, and I did some really stupid things publicly and privately that will take me a while to recover from. To clear the air, because I'm an open book, we get that, and got nothing to hide. My wife is not pregnant and never was. Those meds had me on one. I owe no one any money on any level. Matter of fact, I just took care of both my lawyers, fully 108K for my lawyer and almost 20K for Shayla's lawyer. I could never give what I don't have. Smart folks do the math. And I've already mentioned that there was a few talks with the Smiths, and those meds made me jump out there and speak on monies that never came in. I've already again apologized to them privately and publicly for everything. I'm traveling because I can't afford to. All right. And I'm not out here hosting parties because you haven't seen me post about any. I'm out here handling business, long awaited business, Voltron business. After being 100% exonerated, my name is cleared of 10 years of lies and allegations that I'm very happy to move away from. It's that I have a movie documentary coming from the moment it all happened. I hired a camera crew to follow me around and capture every moment. I apologize again for what happened privately and publicly. I know the jokes have been flying and will continue to fly, and I'm okay with it. I'm a big boy with thick skin. No one, I repeat, no one has flown me around. I've arranged and made these moves myself. That fast bag would have been nice, of course, but that's life, right? The real fathers and hustlers understand that it's whatever it takes to get shit done. Feel free to take my words and pick them all apart. That's my story and my truth, and that will never change. Again, I apologize to those of you that I've let down from the way this all looks, but we live and learn, and I've learned a lot. I bet you have. For my so-called loved ones who went out of their he's missing some stuff. For my so-called loved ones who went out of their something to step on me while I was down, I know exactly who you are, and I've seen everything. I love you too. This is my last post about the past. Let's move on, shall we? Daddy-daughter season, Capricorn. So that's what he had to say about yet another lie he had when he was going through his shenanigans. And I don't know. But there again, like, you know, like he said, like, really, like, if you do the math, like, he has all this stuff at his house, like these different restaurants and stuff like that. Like, we would have heard about him filing for bankruptcy or something like that. So I'm glad that Tyrese is getting to a better place and a healthier mental space. I never want to knock anyone, and I'm definitely an advocate for mental health issues, and so I'm definitely not going to knock that man. But yeah, he be out here posting books though. That's the one shot I'll take when he get on Instagram or Twitter to tell his piece, and that's his right. So New Year's Eve, we're going to get another comedy special, stand-up special from Dave Chappelle. And I just hope this is really good. Like, I just feel like this has been a hell of a year for everybody. So I'm pretty sure he has a lot of jokes to get off. And so I'm excited and interested to see how that's going to be. A living legend, Mariah Carey. She recently got rid of her manager. And that's the young lady that we saw on her reality TV show that most of her staff did not like. Stella, that's her name, right? She recently signed with Rock Nation. Okay, Mariah, see you. And so that's what's up. So with that, I guess she shows no signs of slowing down as far as, this music business. Also talking about management and whatnot. Your favorite girl group from the past, Escape, minus Candy, has signed a management deal with Vincent Herbert. Now, this is where, if you keep up with all this stuff, this is where it gets interesting, because Tiny is like best friends with Tamar. I understand getting to the bag and everything, but out of all the management in the world, you gonna sign with your best friend's soon-to-be ex-husband. I think that's just, for me, a little messy. I feel like, number one, her and Tiny just recently got back on a good page. And so if that was me, we just got back good. I'm not gonna go and ruffle any feathers by dealing with her husband. So think about it. They signed this management deal that basically gives Vincent free reign to come and show up to any of their concerts. Now, stay with it. I say that because it's an issue, because Tamar is on the tour. And so I wouldn't want to invoke any of that mess. And so I don't know. When I saw that on Instagram, I was just like, this just cannot be true. And so yeah. Let's see. Y'all finna get some realness right now, because I have a couple of items on here that I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about OG rappers versus new rappers, because of the post that I believe 21 Savage put out. Was it 21 Savage? Am I lying? Whatever young man put out a long post about OG rappers versus new rappers. And then T.I. responded to that basically in support of the new age rappers and how the old rappers are. I'm going to quickly just make a quick point on this. I'm not going to spend all the time that I wanted to on this. My thing is this. I get every generation has their music and all that stuff. I get it. That's fine. But I feel like what some of these new age rappers are doing is not really like rap. Rap to me, I'm an old head, an OG fan of rap, is giving me bars. A lot of these new age rappers are giving us great beats and mumble rap that we can jig to. Nothing wrong with that at all. You need music to jig to. My thing is this. You have to know your history. And so when I say you have to know your history, that means you have to pay respect to these OG rappers. You need to be able to grow up and get outside your head and understand what some of these OG rappers are trying to say. And really, like, most of them are just really just trying to give advice out of love and give you the game out of love. Like, yes, there's haters in every bunch, and that's on both sides of the coin, right? But I'm talking about the majority. Like, I think that the majority of the rappers, OG rappers, they get it. Like, because when they were young, people talked about their rap. Like, when gangster rap was new and popular, everyone hated it on the outside of the people that love to listen to it and the gangster rappers. So it's the same kind of thing. But I think, like, I'm tired of seeing this narrative, and I'll just get off this topic. I'm tired of the narrative. Like, I just feel like it's just not fair for little blank, 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 because everyone is a little something nowadays, to really be in the same category as like a 444 album or For Your Eyes Only or a Big Crit album. It's not the same type of rap. And that's just what it is. There's no shot, but you're not telling me a story. You're not painting pictures. Like, and also, and like, you can take this as a shot. I know I said I was going to move on, but a lot of these rappers, all they talk about is doing drugs. And then I know I saw on social media was a post like OG rappers, they talked about selling drugs. New school rappers, they talk about doing drugs. And I just feel like, what more do you got to talk about? Like, there's so much stuff you can talk about. I know freedom of speech, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not being a hater because I do like some of these new school rappers, but it's more like mood music. It's not going to be like, oh, that was the classic album, or, oh, he's a top 5 rapper of all time. Like, you're never going to get on that list, boo-boo, and I'm sorry. So, since we're talking about rap, I have to talk about what everyone's been talking about podcast-wise. Most of the podcasts that I listen to, they're talking about Mase versus Cameron, and I'm just going to briefly talk about this as well. And most people feel like it came out of nowhere, but this beef has been going on for years. As Mase explained it on Hot 97, he said basically they've been cool for like 8 years, but they've been enemies for 21 years. That's a long time to have beef going, and it has to be something really, really deep. And so basically Mase got fed up. Cameron, he dropped a EP, album, mixtape, whatever, recently, and first track, first verse, basically he took a shot at Mase. And so soon thereafter we got a diss song from Mase called The Oracle, and it was very, very hard. I think this is the best that I've heard Mase in a long time. I always will say his first album is his classic. It's a good album. I had the album, loved the album. And so this was hard. This was very, very hard. And it left us with many questions that we wanted Cameron to answer. And like, did you really mess with your sister? And Cameron doesn't have a sister. And so he cleared that up. We were just like, whew, good to know. And so, yeah. And then Cameron, he came back with his response to Mase, and it was good. It was good. And so Mase, he did that. And so going back to the interview with Hot 97, from listening to the interview, it just seemed like Mase wanted to be heard, taken seriously for all these years. He wanted to tell his side of the story because he said that his side of the story has never been told. And I just feel like Mase wanted 100% some respect on his name. And I get it. I totally get it. Like, all these years you have Cameron running the narrative, telling the story through his eyes, but we never get Mase's side of the story or whatever. And so that's just my take on it. I felt like, there again, like I said, The Oracle was a strong track, and this is definitely a good light to shine on Mase for those that thought that he wasn't capable of rapping like that. And he showed you that he 100% is, and he even let it be known that he has written for people. So he's a ghostwriter, and he didn't want to say who because he didn't want to mess up his money, and that's a very, very smart man. And so yeah, and so I was impressed by his interview, and I was impressed by the song. And so the last topic that I want to touch on in what's poppin' is are the Grammys. And so the nominations came out this week, and so I'm just going to go through some of the nominations. Album of the Year. The nominees are Childish Gambino, my favorite all-time rapper, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Lorde, and Bruno Mars. And this is a good pot of music. I definitely expect Big Crit to be nominated next year. I want that for him. I don't understand the deadline for the Grammys, because you already know what I'm thinking if you know me. I want to see J. Cole on some of these nominations, so I don't understand how that goes, but whatever. This is the first time that no white artists have been nominated for Album of the Year since 1999, which I'm a little confused by that, and maybe this is not the category, but that's what I have in my notes, because what nationality is Lorde? Like, I don't know her like that. I definitely didn't listen to this album, so I definitely can't criticize this album. But so yeah, I'm a little confused by that. But yeah, good pot. For me, I would love to see 444 get this win, because this was Jay-Z's like most honest album, and when it came out, the streets were like flipping out on this, and I just feel like based on that reaction alone, like that album had such an impact on hip hop that some of these albums didn't have that impact. Like, yes, 24 Karat Magic is a great album. I don't want to take anything away from Bruno Mars. I don't want to take anything away from Childish Gambino. That was a great album. Kendrick Lamar, Damn, good album, but it's personally not my favorite Kendrick Lamar album. But still don't want to take anything away. I would like to see him maybe get like, single or something. But I want Jay-Z to get Album of the Year. So we'll see. What else? Best Rap Song: Bodak Yellow, Chase Me, Humble, Sassy, The Story of OJ. For me, just because I love Cardi B and I love her story, and I love the hell out of Bodak Yellow, but The Story of OJ is also a good song. But I would love to see Cardi B get that. I would love to see her get that. Call me crazy, but I don't care. Let's see what else we got. Best Rap Album: Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Migos. I feel like that could have been someone else's slide. I don't care. Come for me if you want to. Rhapsody. So happy this young lady made it on there. And then Tyler, the Creator. I didn't listen to the album, so I can't say anything about the album, but I definitely did listen to the others. I would want Jay-Z or Rhapsody to get that album. To get that award. I definitely, yeah, it sounds like I'm hating on Kendrick Lamar, but like I said, that album just didn't touch me like that. It didn't sit with me the same as the others. So, is that all I have that I want to talk about as far as the Grammys? I think so. I think I got it all, people. And so, yeah, overall, Jay-Z, he has 8 nominations. SZA is heavily nominated, so I know she's going to win something. But yeah, so I would be interested in seeing the Grammys in February next year. Talk about sports, people. I don't have too much to talk about as far as sports, but I want to talk about a few items. Since I haven't recorded in a while, I have one thing that I definitely wanted to talk about a legend here in Houston that played for Houston Texans. Officially, November the 19th is Andre Johnson Day, and so big up to Mr. Andre Johnson. Definitely a good man. Definitely proud that he played for the Texans. And so I want to talk about that. And now let's talk about the NBA. And I just want to talk about the standings really quickly, so that way I can brag on my Rockets. First of all, we are number 1 in our division, the Southwest Division. We are 17-4 with the Spurs behind us, and they're 15-7. Okay, in the conference in the West, the Rockets are number one with being 17-4. Warriors are behind us. Spurs, Trailblazers at number 4. Nuggets at number 5. That's really surprising. Timberwolves at number 6, which I'm not surprised because I knew they would be in the running this season. The Jazz are at 7, and the Pelicans are at the 8th spot. And so, not right under, you're a couple games behind. The Thunder is at 9, and so that's who could possibly maybe move up to the 8th spot, but I doubt it. And so, yeah, my Rockets are out here shining. Any opportunity that I can take to talk about my Rockets shining, I'm going to take it. And so we just been playing really, really good as a unit. And I want to glow up also like my favorite team, one of my favorite teams in the East that I've been cheering for years. But I love the team even more since Kyrie Irving is over there. Boston Celtics. They're number 1 in the East. They're 20-4. The Cavs, they've been playing really, really good, and they have caught up to be into the 2nd spot on the East. Now, mind you, this narrative was different a little while ago. They weren't even in the top 8. So they really have been pushing. It shows you how bad the East is. Sorry, not sorry. Raptors, number 3. Pistons, 4. 76ers, 5, and I expected them to be in the mix this season, so it's good to see them. Bucks, number 6. Wizards, number 7. Knicks, 8. And so I know a lot of New Yorkers are happy about that. Like, you're in the game, you know? But the Pacers are right on your heels, though. Low key, high key. And so, yeah, it's still early in the season. Still a lot of games to be played. But my Rockets, we are definitely going to the playoffs. And I feel like I'm going to say it right now that we're going to go to the final, like the big, big dance. And it would be great because I know I predicted last season that in a perfect world, I wanted it to be the Rockets and the Celtics. I don't know if I said that out loud. I think I might have said it to just a few of my friends. But it definitely is a possible scenario if we just keep playing great basketball, and if the Celtics keep playing great basketball, we can meet up at that final dance. We can change the narrative of Golden State and the Cavs going to the finals. Let's change the narrative, guys. Like, let's put it out in the atmosphere. Let's touch and agree, and let's do this. Like, that would be wonderful to have my Rockets in the finals. Like, that would be like one of the best like gifts in the world. Like, that would make me so happy, and I would spend all my money to go to the games. I tell you that right now. But yeah, a girl can hope, and we'll see what happens. But my Rockets are number 1. They number 1. The last thing I want to talk about is Derrick Rose. How are we feeling about him taking a moment, taking a break to think about what he wants to do with his NBA career? He's gotten injured again, and so for me, I'm not surprised that he's at this point as far as like thinking about his career. It's just something, it's like a Brandon Roy situation. Like, he was one of my favorite players when he was playing, Brandon Roy, and I hated to see that his career ended the way he did. But it's just like some people just can't stay healthy, and Derrick Rose is probably at a point in his career where he's tired of always getting injured, and he probably has these goals set ahead of himself, and he's not getting there. Like, he's a great player. He's a great player, and no, he's not at the same level. He's not the same level as when he first came into the NBA, but put some respect on his name. And so I wouldn't be sad if he decides to just go ahead and sit on down. Like, it's not worth it to keep putting your body through that kind of stuff. Hopefully you got your money right, you got money put aside, and you can just live and be happy and enjoy your family. So I don't know, boys and girls, but it'd be a sad day if he decides to officially retire. But we gotta let people like live their lives and, you know, it's good that the Cavs are supporting him and taking a moment to think about what he really wants to do, if he wants to press forward or not. And so let me know what you think and how you feel about Derrick Rose possibly retiring. And what else? I think that's all I have for this episode. So I hope you enjoy episode 36. I feel like I talked about a lot of stuff, and yeah, like I always say, I got some special stuff coming down the pipeline. Just gotta get stuff lined up, and they will be coming. I still plan on releasing the cuffing season playlist. I still have to just get my final list of songs together and put it together. I'll probably put it first on Apple Music. SoundCloud is a little dicey as far as finding full songs that you can actually put on your playlist. So yeah, like if you have Apple, you'll be able to definitely, when I'm done with it, day one, I'm sharing it, and you can, get your life to my vision of cuffing season from start to end. And yeah, I was going to say something because I'm in my feelings, but I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to end this episode. And if you're not following me on social media, please follow me. Thank you to all my new Twitter followers. I'm close to getting to another goal of the number of followers I want to have, and maybe I'll get there by the end of the year. So thank you. My name on Twitter is Pretty and Smart 81. That's Pretty, the letter N, Smart 81. Follow me on Instagram, guys. OhYouThoughtFallon, and you spell my name Fallon. Where else can you follow me? Check out my website, OhYouThoughtFallon.com. Email me, people. Let's talk. Let's be friends. And if you need advice, let me know, and I'll read your email on the show. Like, just let's really start going with this, people. My email is OhYouThoughtFallon@gmail.com. Please subscribe to my podcast via iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, and then I'm on like a lot of other like miscellaneous platforms. It's like too many today. I'm probably on 10 to 15 platforms total for my podcast. So you can find me in a lot of places, and you can find my episodes on my website, OhYouThoughtFallon.com. So you have all these ways to officially get your life together. So I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Stay safe out there. Be careful. Be kind to each other. Pray for each other. And I will holla at y'all soon. Until next time, remember to glow up, bless up, stay prayed up, and hold it down.
Hold it down. Hold it down. We gon' hold it down. We gon' hold it down.